Hey guys, it's Nihongo Johnny. Minasan konnichiwa, Nihongo Johnny desu. Today we're gonna be reading short stories that you guys have requested. These urban legends were too short to make an actual video for each and every one of them, so I thought I'd make a compilation and read them all today. If you guys want to hear any more of these, definitely let me know in the comments below. And before I actually get into reading them, I just wanted to say welcome if you're new. My name is Johnny and I talk about all things paranormal in Japan. So if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely hit subscribe. I put out new videos every Friday. And I hope you guys enjoy the following stories. This story was requested by Tristan and they wanted me to read the story of the giant skeleton, or Gashadokuro. Gashadokuro is a giant skeleton from Japanese folklore. According to the urban legend, the large skeleton is made up from the bones of people who have died from starvation. Gashadokuro wanders around the countryside at night, looking for prey. It's almost 90 feet tall and grinds its teeth, making a gachi sound. The giant skeleton towers high above the ground and walks so quietly that he is almost invisible. If you hear ringing in your ears, it means Gashadokuro is near. The Gashadokuro, once again, is made from the bones of people who have died from starvation. Because they have died in such a horrible way, and the fact that their bones were not properly buried, these people have a powerful grudge against the living. Their bones gather together to form a giant skeleton. It is filled with vicious anger and rage, and it can only be satisfied by drinking the blood of the living. If the Gashadokuro sees you walking around the road at night, it will reach out with its bony fingers and snatch you off the ground. Then it will bite off your head with its giant teeth, and it will drink the blood that drains out of your decapitated body. That does not seem like a fun way to die. I kind of wonder how all of these bones come together. Do all the bones come together and form the shape of a skeleton, or do they merge together into the actual bone? I'm kind of wondering that, so let me know if any of you guys know. This scares me in particular because I go for walks every night and my ears are constantly ringing, so maybe he's around waiting to grab me. If I disappear, you guys will know why. Now, let's get on to the next story. This next story is requested by Dustin, and this is the legend of Sheedy, or Butt Eye. Sheedy is a Japanese ghost with no face. He has a huge eye in his butt. At night, he scares unwary travelers on lonely roads by mooning them. In Japanese, Sheedy means butt, and me means eye. So Sheedy literally means butt eye. The Japanese legend of Sheedy is a strange and funny tale. Many years ago, a samurai was walking at night on the road to the city of Kyoto. Suddenly, a man dressed up in a kimono stepped out of the shadows and blocked his path. "Who goes there?" asked the samurai nervously, readying himself for an attack. "Excuse me," said the man. "Could I have a moment of your time?" Before the samurai could answer, the man turned around and Before the samurai could answer, the man turned around, dropped his clothes and bent over. His bare buttocks opened wide. I can't do this story. I quit. His bare buttocks opened wide, and the horrified samurai saw a huge glittering eye staring at him from the man's butt. A strange glowing light was emanating from the eye. When he saw this, the samurai screamed in terror, and he fled as fast as his legs could carry him. Sheedy is one of the most popular ghosts in Japan because he does not harm his victims. He is just a mischievous ghost who likes to scare people. That was a very interesting story to say the least. What did you guys think? What would you guys do if somebody just came up to you, pulled down their pants and bent over and showed you a butt eye? I think I would be running pretty far away as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And let's get on to our next story. This next story is about a haunted village and it's requested by Neko Cassie. It is called Sawa Village. Sawa Village is a Japanese urban legend about a village that was supposedly erased from the map after a terrible massacre had occurred there. Many people in Japan have tried to track down this village, but as of yet, nobody has been able to find it. According to the legend, there once was a small town called Sawa Village. I'm not sure why they're changing the spelling of it, but the first one says Sugisawa and the next one says Sugizawa. So maybe the village name changed over time, it doesn't quite say yet. According to the legend, there once was a small village called Sugizawa Village in the mountains of Aomori Prefecture in Japan. Many years ago, a man who lived in the village suddenly went mad and killed all the other villagers with an axe before committing suicide. After the massacre, Sugisawa Village was abandoned and it was erased from all the maps in the area. They say that the ruins of the village are haunted by evil spirits and anyone who visits the area will never come back. There is supposedly a sign on the road leading to the village, and this sign says that there is no guarantee that those who enter will remain alive. There is an old gate at the entrance of the village, and at the base of it there is a stone that looks like a skull. It is said that people who wander close to the site of Sugisawa Village will hear the distant sound of talking and laughter, as if there is a festival going on. The talking and laughter will slowly change into screams of horror. If you keep listening, after a while the screaming stops, and it returns to talking and laughter. The ruined houses of the village are covered in bloodstains, and this tells the story of the tragic incident that occurred there. The legend of Sugisawa Village has become very popular in Japan. Many fans of the occult have tried to go to the village to test their courage. However, nobody has been able to track down the exact location of the village. This urban legend is probably based off of a real incident that actually happened in 1938. This was called the Tsuyama Massacre. There was a young man named Matsuo Toi, and this man lived in the village of Kamo. One night, he went crazy and murdered many fellow villagers. He killed his grandmother and chopped off her head with an axe. Then, he cut the electricity lines, plunging the whole village into darkness. Under the cover of night, he went through the village, sneaking into people's homes and killing them with a shotgun and a Japanese sword. He killed 30 people in total, which was almost half the population of the village. In the end, he turned the shotgun on himself and committed suicide. It was one of the worst massacres in modern history. This story was a little bit too real for me, because lately there's been a lot of really horrible events on the news, and it makes the story too realistic and kind of sad and scary at the same time. What did you guys think of this story? I feel like there's tons of legends of missing villages and missing cities, and it's something I think I want to cover in the future. So if you guys have any places you want to hear about, let me know in the comments below, and we'll get on to our final story. This last and final story was requested by Larinor, and this is the story of the Red Crayon. The Red Crayon. The Red Crayon is a sad and disturbing story about a young couple who buy a house, and this house comes complete with an unsolved mystery. It is based off of a Japanese urban legend. A married couple who had just returned from their honeymoon had decided to buy a house. The couple was very happy because they had managed to buy a house for a very cheap price. It was a nice neighborhood and very close to the city, and just a short walk from a shopping center. One day, the husband started walking down the hall when he spotted a red crayon lying on the floor. The couple didn't have any children, so the husband wondered where the crayon came from. Perhaps one of the previous residents had left it behind. He casually threw the crayon in the trash. The next day, the husband came home from work only to find another crayon laying in the exact same spot. He was very puzzled and decided to ask his wife about it. The wife's face grew pale when he brought it up. She told him that every day since they first moved into the house, she had been finding red crayons as she was cleaning. They were always laying in the same spot, at the end of the hallway. The husband was standing in the hallway, wondering about this weird phenomenon. He began to notice something was not quite right. The hallway was way too short. He tapped on the wall at the end of the hallway and heard a hollow sound. Curious, he began peeling off the wallpaper, despite his wife protesting. Behind the wallpaper, they found a pair of sliding doors. It was as if somebody had carefully hidden the entrance to a small room. The husband discovered sliding doors that had been nailed shut. He got his hammer from his toolbox and began taking out the nails one by one. After pulling out the last nail, he slowly opened up the door. It revealed a small hidden room. Looking inside, they saw that the white walls of the small space were covered in crayon. They had words scribbled all over them. Over and over again were the words, "Mommy, I'm sorry, let me out. Mommy, I'm so sorry, let me out." That is really sad and really creepy. One of my friends actually has a scary story similar to this. They found out that their place was haunted, and they found out that the people who lived there before locked their child in the closet. So maybe I'll ask for their permission to tell the story and I'll tell it here on my channel. Let me know if you guys want to hear that. And also, let me know what you guys thought of all these stories. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and hit the bell for more notifications. I put out spooky videos every Friday, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week.